Hey, 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 hey. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Gigi. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Okay, for those who don't know who we have on live, her name is Gigi, aka the Melrose Exposed. She's a makeup artist. She's a content maker, like a content. What would you say? Like a content
Like a influencer.
influencer. I hate using that word, but it's like it's the only word to
Right.
describe. Yeah. Because it's like influencers definitely come with that type of name recognition. And then you're also a brand consultant and a YouTuber. So thank you again for joining. So what are you sipping on today?
Oh girl, this mix. So it's rum and pineapple juice.
Oh, okay. I got this sangria from downstairs.
Not sangria from downstairs.
I mean, it's probably old at this point.
It worked.
It
We
worked.
gotta sip some.
So tell the people how you got started in makeup artistry.
I originally got started in 2012. I had I was going to college and I had some financial issues. So I was going to go to cosmetology school, and then after I got out, use the money to what? Shh. Use the money to go ahead and go back to school. And it just didn't work out that way. I went to cosmetology school, fell in love with it, and then from then on, like the rest was history. So, when I graduated, I went to a girl. She was certified to do makeup for like MAC. She had a class, so I went to her class. And then after that, I just kind of started doing shoots. I started doing shoots here and there, just to kind of like, see what my strengths, my weaknesses was, practicing as much as I could. And then I guess because I got so wrapped up in it, like I just kept doing it. So
Yeah. I mean, you're like one of the most talented makeup artists I've ever met. And like, you're welcome. I just like your hand is just unmatched. If you ever seen me in a photo shoot, most of the time it's probably Gigi. I've only worked with like a couple of other people, but yeah, you're probably one of the makeup artists that I've worked with most of the time. So let's talk about how important it is to be sanitary when you're a makeup artist. Because I've also met some people who don't like to wash their brushes. There's some people that don't believe in washing their brushes in between clients. So like kind of go through that process and how important it is. Yeah, it's nasty.
Well, girl, ew. Sanitation is important. It should have already been important, prior to, but now that we in this pandemic, like it is even more of a rule. It's the kind of like it's definitely we need to get I'm like, yeah, we definitely need to make sure that we are safe and sanitary. So, between each client, I have like a makeup sanitizer, which is something that you can use on the go. Most people do alcohol and water in a spray bottle, and you can kind of use that to clean your brushes because it's still considered sanitized. Whereas though, if it were the end of the day, I would use like a brush shampoo because I would need to like really, really clean and sterilize my brushes. It's important.
I was gonna say, what the gunk is inside of those brushes that people don't think about?
Oh, foundation. Yeah, old foundation. What else? some powders when you mix them together. And over time when you don't wash stuff, it can grow like a fungus. And of course, it would be unsanitary to use on a customer, but even more be more unsanitary to use on yourself, because there's so much that you can get, like staph infection, pink eye, and all the other stuff, because it's nasty. It is, but like just because you wasn't as clean as you could have been, so. I try to have something that I can like, and then it looks good with your customers. So if they see you cleaning your brushes, even if you just kind of spray them with sanitizer and kind of wiping them off, at least it's sanitized enough for you to use for the next person. If they see that, they're gonna be like, well, she was real clean, and I like that she made sure that whatever brush she chose, she sanitized it first. People look at that stuff even when people think they don't. So.
Yeah. So what are the ingredients that we're not paying attention to in certain foundations and powders that we shouldn't be putting on our face, or stuff that's used as a substitute that we shouldn't be putting on our face?
Well, I learned from a friend of mine. She's an esthetician. She definitely said to stay away from cocoa butter on the face. She told me that it was real clogging as far as on the skin, but it's good, everywhere else. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. Not offhand. I mean, it's a couple different things, but I can't think of it not offhand.
And how do you feel about these like makeup hacks that keep popping up on Instagram or like TikTok, and they're like using I've seen people like use red lipstick and then they put concealer over it, or like the whole milk. Remember that whole movement of putting milk and magnesia on your face?
Oh my God! And what's so crazy? Again, back to my friend who's an esthetician. She was like, "Please," I know you wouldn't do it, but she was like, "Please don't put that on there," because when you use stuff like Nail-X and all of that stuff, like is harmful to your face, because what it's doing is it's eating away at whatever is in there. Like, so if you continually using that on your face, what makes you think it's not eating away at your skin? Yeah, it's just, to me, I wouldn't recommend it. A lot of people are like, oh, it's really good to dry out the oils, but you can't make your skin butt so dry.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would stay away from that. As far as the hacks, like some hacks are cool.
Yeah.
But it's just as easy as you can do the hack, you can be like, okay, let me try to find somebody that I can teach me how to do whatever I look for, versus you just like, okay, let me whip out this toothpick and try to contour. Like, that's too much. It's like, that's a lot.
Types of stuff. I'm like, why are you putting that
girl with the nose contour? Like, stop playing.
Please. Oh, how do you feel about like these girls be pale as hell, but they be putting like heavy concealer, like dark concealer, to the point where you look like my cousin. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, are we
I don't know.
Like,
it's another like hack, right? It's another hack. I seen a girl do it. I think they consider it like, I guess, reverse contour, because instead of you doing light to dark, you doing dark to light. But to me, it look weird. I feel like you're doing more work, because it's already dark, so you have to use more to kind of like lighten it up and then blend. Yeah. So make me think about everything. I don't. That's crazy.
And do you make sure? I know that you do, but do you make sure that you use different techniques when it comes to different skin types if you're like on a job?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like in the beginning, of course, you learn color theory. Your primary, your secondaries. What goes good with what. Same thing with undertones. You have to know what their underlying tone is and what you can use to correct, so it makes it even. Versus when you just kind of going in blind, you really don't know what you're doing.
Speaking of, how do you feel about Black makeup artists in the industry now? Do you think that you all are getting more opportunities, or is it kind of the same thing? Because I feel like people are saying, oh, the whole remember when Fenty came out and it was like a big range of shades or whatever, and they're like, yeah, we need to give more Black people opportunities, but I'm like, are they really doing that?
I think to a degree things are starting to get inclusive. Um, I know a lot of companies are starting to do. They're starting to listen more to the work of the artist. Versus in the beginning, it was kind of like what I say goes. I used to work for Mac, and when I worked there, it was like, we had the ideas, but they kind of were like, if they're one of those big companies, they're like, well, what we've been doing so far works, so we just gonna keep doing it, type of thing. So that's, to me, even with now the new influencer reviewer type of thing, it's like now they're giving more of the voice to the customer. That way they can tell somebody like, hey, I'm an expert, I live by this, and I've tested it out, I've tried it out, and I think you should go for this. Now it's kind of more of saying that, we trust your word, versus like, okay, well, they've been in business this long and it's working for them this way. It's a lot more, I guess I'll say it's a lot more trust now in regards to being able to just sell a product, and not necessarily just sell a product, but provide the education.
What are your favorite primers, foundations, and concealers that you like using on yourself and using on clients?
Favorite makeup brand? I have a few. NARS is one. Urban Decay.
Yeah.
Far as a more of a low end, I really like Juvia's Place.
Yeah.
I think with Juvia's Place in particular, it's about technique a lot less, because the stuff that she uses, the stuff is rich.
Yeah.
So when you use it, you have to make sure, like, you don't dupe it so much, because that'll cause you to get oily too. But who else? Urban Decay is good. As far as a low end one, NYX is good, or NYX. Some people call it NYX, some people call it NYX, but
whatever.
they're good. Morphe is good too, believe it or not. I haven't tried it personally, but I've seen a couple reviews from other YouTubers, and they were saying that it was a good one. Who else? Oh, Elf, and then Elf is a really nice one too. Yeah, it's a lot of the brands who just came out with like eyeshadows and stuff. They starting to slide over into the inclusivity, because they know we sell.
Yes.
No shade, but
Yes.
if I go in and be like, girl, go buy that,
Yeah.
people will be like, okay, well, I trust her. Versus if somebody else say, go buy it. Some people might, some people won't. So, but yeah, I like their stuff too, and it's a lot of up and coming brands that I really like, that are Black owned, like Minted, and it's more of like luxury. But to be honest, depending on the product, the investment is worth it. You give it a little longer, and it's great for your skin, because when you're trying out products, you definitely gotta figure out your skin type before you even start buying anything. Because you don't want to mess anything up if you're buying an inexpensive product versus a luxury one. It just pays to just go ahead and take care of your skin at the same time. So.
Right. What type of foundations would you recommend for an oily skin? What type of or like somebody who's like dry combination? Like, what are the types? Like, should oily skin work with powders more, or what are your
for somebody with oily skin, anything that had something that mattifies would be good. Any like primer that was pore filling, something that you can use over. I would recommend liquid foundation, of course, but you can do cream foundation. To me, as far as the cream foundation goes, it just has to be a little light in texture, because if it's too much, it'll start to clog the pores. For somebody who had dry skin, of course, they could use liquid. If somebody, oh, then they can use cream as well. To me, I always say that the foundation matters to a degree, but the prep work is what matters, because if you have on a great foundation, but you have on a horrible primer, and you can tell it won't be used to its fullest potential. Whereas though, if you have the right skin prep, the right primer, the right foundation, everything's look effortless, and people won't even know that you had makeup on.
Awesome. So what is your process for doing makeup? Like, what's your skin prep, and then what do you do before you put on the foundation?
Well, my skin prep is, I like to use I like to use organic black soap before I'm about to put on my makeup. I like to get I do my regular skincare routine, and then after that, then I'll go in the primer. I have one that I use from MAC Cosmetics that's really good. It is the Skin Revive Zone treatment. So I use that, and after I put that on, I put a powder on first, and then my foundation. Depending on the look, I'll either do foundation before or foundation after I do the eyes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty normal to the usual routine, but I try to do as much skin prep as possible because I don't like to really wear a lot of foundation anyways. So.
So as for brand consulting slash being an influencer, so what's your journey with brand consulting? Let's start with.
Well, what I do as far as brand consulting is um people who have a brand and they want to do like a makeup line or something makeup related with the brand that they already have. They consult me, and we put together an entire like look in regards to how we want the makeup to look, what shade. So I got picked down to the shadow, depending on how much creativity and how much control they let me have over anything. And then as far as that goes, um, some of them have like fashion shows or events that kind of coincide with it too. So I kind of help out with that as well.
And so when did you become an influencer, would you say? Because I see that you're doing like stuff with curly hair. Like, I see you doing all types of stuff. You out here getting this money.
Yeah, I had got with a girl. Her name is Tasia Thomas, and she runs Zoel. And she actually really, really helped me in regards to trying to get connected with brands, in regards to PR, and just kind of helping with the content aspect of my page. I was just kind of like, focusing more on the business, and she kind of made it so I kind of turned myself into a brand, and they introduced the business versus the other way around. So she's very helpful with those things. It even helped me as far as like how to position my posts. And yes, now I'm working with Eden's Body Works. I'm one of their brand ambassadors. So I should probably have some content coming up soon. We just did a video together. So yeah, I have a couple brands under my belt for now. Some of the micro, and then Eden's Body Works is the first big brand that I have received. I did their Curl Friends contest, and they picked me from that. So I'm trying to get, crossing my fingers, I'm trying to get with some other stuff. So even though the Rona is ruining a lot, I'm hoping that 2020 will still take a turn for the better. So
I'm just saying. So we have a few viewer questions. Let me see if they put it in here. So the first question is how to find your undertone, because I'm tired of looking like a red hot chili pepper.
Oh no. Okay, so we will make sure that doesn't happen. Right. So people who have a red undertone in their skin shouldn't wear a foundation that's red. You will want to stay with the neutral tones. So that way, if we go on color theory now, if you put them together, they'll get your overall shade. As far as your skin tone is concerned, you can go one shade lighter or one shade darker, depending. And you know, us as black women with hyperpigmentation, we kind of gotta like figure out which color is more of, in order for us to have a better shade. So yeah, you just gotta remember that cancels each other out. So as far as trying to find your shade, if you just stand in the mirror, you can kind of tell where the light hits it, like what color you kind of resemble. And then from there, you know not your foundation shade, I'm sorry. You know your skin complexion, so you kind of go from there. And you can kind of play around. Some people mix too, but that'll kind of overall help you figure out which direction to go. It's a lot. It's a cute little math problem, but once you get it down, it's
it's a little confusing, but once you get it down,
it's like, you know, it's trial and error, because everybody will tell you like, "Oh, girl, buy this. Oh, girl, look at that." You like, okay. You spend a little money. You like, no, this ain't for me.
Yeah, this ain't it. It's not for me.
You was like, it was good for you, but this ain't for me.
On this face, on this skin tone. The second question.
Yeah, and I feel like people don't realize a lot of times we kind of are like saving the day with that. Like, oh, hey girl, I'm this color. And I'm like, how? They like, oh, because my mother is this color. I'm like, no, girl, I don't think that's how that go. Like, you are one shade and your mother is a different shade. And then when you kind of do that, you kind of putting out fires as a makeup artist. So it's cool because, you know, in addition to me doing the events and all of that type of stuff, I still get to like put out the little fires. Let me save you from this. So
coming out the house looking a mess.
Yes, I'm trying to help you, especially during the Rona. Like, you got time.
So how come my eyeshadow don't be that pigmented on my face as in my skin? So this is a question that my little sister asked. She is of a darker tone, beautiful tone, but I guess she's trying to figure out like why eyeshadows don't look as pigmented on her.
Oh, well, that's easy. With the eyeshadow, you will want to use a primer that is lighter than your skin complexion on your eyelid, so that way it'll show up better with the pigment. Who is it? P. Louise is a good example. They have a couple different shades that you can use that's lighter or darker, real pigmented, so that way when you put the desired shade that matches on top of it, it'll show out really bright. Yeah. So it's all about tone with that. So the lighter the primer, the brighter that the eyeshadow is. And of course, the darker it is, the more muted or natural it'll look. So
just pick a good primer that's lighter than your.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what that'll do is it'll build a foundation for it. So when you put it on, thinking like with nails, you put your base coat on, and then some people do with brighter colors, they'll put a white polish on and then put the color on.
Yeah.
It's just to kind of help it bring it out. So
yeah. Okay, thank you. What is the white liquid used to do cut crease?
Oh, that's probably for the person who asked that question. It's probably the P. Louise brand, but it's basically just it's either one or two things. It's either eyeshadow primer. I've seen a lot of people use on a flat brush, or if they're using anything else that's a white line, it's just liquid eyeliner. But some people use it to kind of like draw out what they're doing before they go ahead and fill out the color. So just kind of doing the blueprint before you actually fill it in.
Okay, cool. What primer do you use?
For foundation, I use MAC. It's called Time Check Lotion. For eyes, right now I'm using MAC. They have a
paint pot.
The paint pots. I'm using a couple different ones, but besides that, what I've been looking into It's P. Louise. They have really good ones. But that's it. Yeah. For me, I like to use something that is like dual use. Like I can use it as moisturizer for my skin, and then it's like, okay, if you want, you can go straight into makeup. So that's usually what I do.
Okay, that's smart.
That way it cuts down on a lot of product you use on your skin. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who are just getting into makeup?
Keep going. The way, like for real, keep going. There's money to be made. There's enough money for everybody. Keep going. Never stop learning, of course. I feel like people get accustomed to doing stuff one particular way, and then they kind of just get stuck in time, stuck in a phase. Whereas though, if you kind of are more open to or constantly learning, then you're kind of ahead of the trend. What else? Network. It's always good to have a big, wide range of contacts. People that can reach out. You can reach out to if you're trying to get a job. Somebody needs work. Somebody needs to hire you for a job. This and the third. Make sure that you build a big network, because that'll help you out and continue to help you out in your business. And always be good with money. Keep your receipts for everything. Make sure that you paying your people on time. You keeping money for yourself. You keeping your tax money to the side, because those things definitely add up. So if you have a concise schedule, and you have it, set out to make sure that everything is good. As long as your paperwork is good, then everything is good.
Right. So and then yeah. Oh, what's next that we can see from you? Like, what are you working on that we can look forward to besides the content that you mentioned earlier?
What I got next? I did start doing more work on my YouTube. So you can definitely expect more of that. What else do we have going on? Oh, more work with Eve's Body Works. Hopefully trying to get with more brands. Crossing my fingers and trying to get something with Fenty.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty good.
We're gonna be tagging. Y'all better tag, because we're not playing.
Yeah. Just trying to do more content. Finally be outside. Outside to open back up, so we can do some photo shoots, some fashion events.
Golly.
Yeah.
So I got some rapid fire questions, which really aren't rapid fire, but who's gonna check me? What is a defining moment in your life, and how did it impact you?
Oh, a defining moment in my life. Girl, that was a good one. Oh, a defining moment in my life. I think I would have to say when my parents got divorced.
Okay.
It was a lot, because even though I was older, it kind of hit me a little different. That it was like, oh, okay, it's real. So just kind of trying to figure out that in particular, and just how to move about things after that.
Right. What does the world need more
of? Happiness.
Yeah.
And hand sanitizer.
And soap.
Okay, toilet paper.
Where have you found peace?
Home. Yes.
Home with the hubby.
I always say that inner peace starts at home. So I feel like if you don't get no peace at home, you can't give peace to anybody else. So
period.
Right.
What risk are you happy that you took?
What risk am I happy that I took? My husband.
Period.
I think originally I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but I'm glad I took it.
You better leave photos by Soretta alone, okay?
Yes, he was worth the risk, so it's fine.
What is y'all? She works with her husband too. They're the best duo ever.
Oh, thank you.
What is something new you have recently tried and loved?
What's something new that I recently tried?
It could be makeup. It could be hair. It could be food.
Oh, I recently tried working with a friend. So a friend of mine, me and her got together, and now we own a wine business. I think I had a previous encounter where I was like, never again will I do work with a friend, but
Yeah.
she completely changed all of that. It's definitely 1000% different than the situation before that, and we work together pretty well. So
awesome. How is the eyelash thing going? We still sell
it's
eyelashes.
going. It's on a little pause right now.
Okay, okay.
Due to the Rona, but we going definitely double it, girl. The Rona is killing all of it. Everybody's 2020 dreams, everything. Like, Jesus, get out of here. Like, but it's definitely on pause due to that. I had a couple other things that I was trying to do on top of it. In addition to the wine business, it was something new, so we kind of had to put that on pause, or I had to put that on pause to kind of start that up. But as far as the eyelashes, they're back. We're gonna be trying to do something very soon. I'm not gonna let this slow me down, but you get out of one hurdle and you're like, okay, it's time for me to figure out how to get out of this.
Yes.
And go on to the next one. So it'll be out. It's taking a little longer.
It's coming.
Right, it's taking a little longer than I would like. So
if money was not an issue, how would you spend your time?
Traveling.
Oh yes.
I'm a foodie, so like if money was not an option, I would be going anywhere I could to try something new. Food, drinks, everything.
Yes. If you could run your own country, what would it be like?
It would be fun all the time. We definitely 99% better than how Cheeto was doing. But yeah, and there'd be no crime because I don't play that. I don't like violence. Nope. We hanging out. If you got an attitude, you gotta leave. That's it. Not playing. You gotta leave.
What does success look like to you?
Success to me is being able to afford someone an opportunity that you weren't able to give yourself. Being able to thank people that were actually there for you throughout it all. What else is it? Mental peace. What else? Nice house, family, and just having an overall happiness in life. Like that to me is more successful than anything monetary. But the money does help. The money does help though.
So, tell people where they can find you on all platforms.
Okay, so on my website, it's www.themelroseexperience.com. I have everything linked: my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. On YouTube, you can find me under the Melrose Experience or Giselle Melrose. And I think that's it for right now. I'll be posting more on YouTube just to kind of bring those followers up and do more lengthy content. And then I'll still be posting stuff on here and on TikTok too. Girl, the Rona, now I'm on TikTok now. It was like, when we first started going through, you like,
Right. Right. Now you like, okay.
Here with the thing.
Right. And I'm like, what is this?
You gotta listen. You gotta watch TikTok. But yeah, I'm on TikTok now too, girl. But yeah, that's just trying to provide more education. I think for me, helping somebody else get to their potential is always good for me. So I like to teach. So I'm thinking about putting together another master class for everybody. Not sure what it's going to be about. I think I definitely want to do one that is for the everyday women, like work related, and then I also want to do one in regards to people that's aspiring to do makeup.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here today. We're gonna turn it back on the music.
Right.
Y'all, thank Gigi for coming. Don't be ghetto. Say thank you.
Oh, not don't be ghetto. Okay. You're not gonna show up in front of the company.
Y'all follow her at the Melrose Exposed. And that's on period. Alright, have a good night, Gigi.
Alright, you too.
See you.
Bye.